Using the configurator in Elscott definitely helps to have a good overview, to handle a vast amount of quotations. We have the ability, we really feel being in control to handle all the quotations that come at us.
My name is Niels Beers, I'm the CEO of the company. Demaco is producing cryogenic infrastructure for the transport and conditioning of liquefied gas. Demaco has 140 employees. Revenue is around 25 million at the moment. We are always looking for customers who are willing to have a long-term relationship with us, and we have a wide range of experience in cryogenics, so that makes us unique for the customer.
My name is Eik Lichthart. I'm a business improvement engineer at Demaco. My job is to optimize our internal processes so we can do more with the same amount of colleagues. And as a part of that, I did the implementation of Elscott with a group of colleagues. Previously, we worked with an Excel file, and this file became slower and slower, and it was really hard to maintain. We had possibilities to make mistakes over there. When we have done the price calculation in Excel, we have to translate it into a Word file where we can make mistakes again. So overall, the quotation process took too much time and took too much knowledge of our colleagues. Previously, CPQ was like a blind spot for us, so we didn't realize we could do it much more efficient. But when we saw a CPQ solution, then we realized, okay, we can do this quotation process much more efficient. Before we started with Configurator, we made our products modular. And what we did is that we sat down with all kinds of departments to determine what will be our building blocks. And that part, which took like a few months, was really hard because everybody needs to think, okay, how should all these building blocks connect? So the hard thing about the transition from ETO to CTO is that we really had to deep dive into the details. But the challenging thing was that we also had to keep like an overview about the total process. Because of Elscott, we save a lot of time making quotations. So previously we spent like, I don't know, maybe 10 hours for a quotation in total. And now this is reduced to maybe 5. So yeah, actually with the same amount of people, we can do the double amount of quotations.
My name is Maurice Dekker. I'm the manager of sales and marketing at Demaco. I'm responsible for all sales and marketing activities, and I'm responsible for the salespeople here at Demaco, as well as our export division with agents and distributors. Elscott is actually being used by the internal sales department. They handle internal requests and they support our account managers. So we receive requests from our clients, and then our internal salespeople, they actually calculate and while using the configurator of Elscott, you directly create a quotation as well. We send out approximately 1,500 quotations per year. Of those 1,500 quotations, 1,200 they go through Elscott. Well, the benefit of Elscott as well is that you pretty much have a single source of truth in terms of information, and that goes for both the price setting, which is always up to date, as well as the description in your quotations. We have doubled the amount of quotations that we can handle within the business unit. And in terms of revenue, we've seen an increase of 20%. If you compare to how we worked before, we made use of an Excel calculation sheet. We would then have to put that information into our quotation, and that part was done by our account managers. Nowadays, our account managers are much more able to go outside, visit their clients, and revert back to the internal organization.
So we have also built on top of Elscott, so we have Insightly CRM integrated with Elscott, we have Ridder ERP integrated with Elscott, and on top we have also ClickBI.
Well, to be honest, the adoption period for, or the way sales had to adapt, that was super easy because you would take weight off their shoulder. You would have to place that into the internal organization. They have now given the tool Elscott. I mean, we have quarterly meetings, sales meetings, and it was interesting. Already a year ago, you would hear people, or my salespeople saying or presenting to the group that they cannot imagine like a time before Elscott, simply because it is so much more efficient for them. The handover from quotation request to the internal organization is super important, but they can focus much more on the outside.
We asked some companies to do some demos, and we were pretty convinced that Elscott was the right one for us. Then we started a trial period, and after a month we were really convinced.
If you look 20 years ahead, There is not enough people in the Netherlands to do all the jobs we have now. So you need to think of automate your process.
Using the configurator in Elskot definitely helps to have a good overview, to handle a vast amount of quotations.
We have a goal to grow, but not only revenue, but also profitability.
We have the ability, we really feel like being in control to handle all the quotations that come at us. You could definitely say that with Elskot we save 50% of our sales time.